So I hope I answered your question, inshallah. There's a second question from here, sister. Okay, inshallah. Yes?
It's a wonderful talk for all of us here, alhamdulillah. How do you answer questions such as, then why does Allah create this dunya? There's really no happiness in this dunya. We understand in the Quran, it says to see which of you are the best. So you can be judged by your deeds. How do you explain this to a non-Muslim? If a non-Muslim was to sit in this class, I don't know whether there are any statistics. People are crazy. They're imagining something that's not there. So how would you address this?
Okay. Lots of people would say, what is the point of creating us in this life, right? And what's the meaning of life? And for us as Muslims, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, He didn't leave us like this. He said, I sent messengers and I sent revelation with them. Okay? So, can we question Allah? That's the question number one. Can we question Him? Can we ask Him, why are you doing this? Allah said, لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون. Allah is not to be questioned, but we will be questioned. Because we are the creation and He is the creator. Right? Now, when you get a job and you work for an employer, you are called employee. Right? And then the employee will sit by laws. Right? And he will have a contract with you. You need to be here at this time and leave at this time and do this job. Otherwise, you'll be fired. Right? So, why do we go to work? And why sometimes we put up with an employer who is really we don't feel comfortable working for. And sometimes even we don't like the job itself. Why? Because we need the paycheck by the end of the month. Right? So if they say you have to wear a uniform, and if you violate this, what happens first time? They'll give you a letter of attention. And then they will deduct something out of your salary, and third action would be you're fired. Right? SubhanAllah, simply for employing you. What about the one who gave you everything? Allah said, أَلَا لَهُ الْخَلْقُ وَالْأَمْرُ. To Allah belongs the creation and the command. If someone is giving you a salary at the end of the month, he's not providing for you because Allah is providing for him too. And he might die tomorrow. Is that clear? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us this in the Quran. And in fact, for some people who do like that, you can start with them in Surah At-Tur, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ بَلْ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. Meaning, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ, were they created out of nothing? Ask that person, were you created out of nothing? And there's no answer except, no, we were created out of clay. And we know this. And then, أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ, did you create yourself? And some of them will come up with those, conniving answers like, no, but my mother created me. Have you heard this before? I say, okay, let's go into the vicious circle. And who created your mother? Her mother. And who created her mother? Her mother. Until we go to Eve. Who created Eve? Allah. You can't do it. Okay? If he said, like, my father created me. Okay, who created your father? Who created his father? Who created the first father? Allah. So you have to come up, logically speaking, at the end is behind every creation there is a creator. And when a creator creates, he has a purpose. When people made this mic, they had a purpose to sell it to us so we can use it as a loudspeaker, right? They're not going to create this and put it under the rain. It's we enjoy seeing it under the rain, It's a nice ad. No, right? When I say, why did you come here tonight? You have a purpose, right? SubhanAllah, why do you send your son to the university? There's a purpose. In fact, behind every single act in our life, there's a purpose. And that person asking this question, there's a purpose because he knows that he's going to die and he's going to meet with his creator. So even the essence of the atheism is a proof that Allah exists, because when they say there is no God, so what do you think about God to start with? If you are ignoring Him, this is a proof in itself. You know that there is a creator. And this is why when I had that chat with an atheist, and this is why you have to prove first, you have to prove that there is a creator. Because from there you're going to say, Why did He create you? There is a purpose. So Allah said, أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ? Were they created out of nothing? أَمْ هُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ? Or did they create themselves? أَمْ خَلَقُوا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ? Look at the universe. Did they create the heavens and the earth? بَلْ لَا يُقِنُونَ. In fact, they are in doubt. And this is why they come up with these questions. So kill it with this ayah first, or this ayat. And then move on to that person that I was chatting with, and I said, he said to me, what's your name? I said, my name. And then he gave me his name. He said, where are you from? At that time I was teaching at Kuwait University. I said, like, an Egyptian in Kuwait. And he's like, what about you? He said, I'm an American in Denver. I said, okay. And he said, you must be a Muslim. I said, who told you? Like, in Egypt there are 10% Coptic Christians. And in Lebanon, there are 30% Christians. So what do you assume? You're ignorant. You don't know. You can't make this assumption. But anyway, I'm a Muslim. What about you? He said, I'm an atheist. I said, no, you're not. He said, what? I said, no, you are not. And he's like, do you know me more than myself? I said, no. I'm saying you are not an atheist. Can you accept the challenge? He said, yes. I said, okay, let's prove it in less than 10 minutes. Okay, start your watch. And then I said, how can we communicate? He said, through the internet. I said, internet? What's the internet? I don't believe in the internet. Can you see the internet? He said, no. I said, can you touch it? He said, no. I said, there is no internet. And he was like, man, you're confusing me. I said, no, I'm just trying to use your own logic. Let's keep going. What's the means that we're using now to connect with each other? He said, the computer. I said, what's a computer? Oh, you mean that random combination of electronic circuits and plastic pieces that came together and made itself into that thing? He said, come on, this is a sophisticated technology, made by an electronic engineer. I said, look, stop there. Have you seen the electronic engineer putting it together? He said, no. I said, there are no electronic engineers. I don't believe in them. I said, keep going, keep going. How do you get your thing that you call computer to work? He said, through power, electricity. I said, what? Power? Electricity? What is that? He said, man, when you plug the thing, I said, I don't believe in electricity. Can you send me a piece of electricity by mail? Can you touch it? Can you see it? He said, no. I said, there is no electricity. Let's keep going. Where do you put that thing called computer? He said, on a table. I said, a table? What's a table? Oh, you mean that random combination of pieces of wood and some metal that put itself together into that nice thing? He said, like, come on, you're really confusing me. Like, it's the artistic work of a carpenter. I said, have you seen the carpenter putting it together? He said, no. I said, there are no carpenters. There are tables that made themselves. Let's move on. Do you have a camera? He said, yes. I said, turn it on, please. And here's my camera. And I said, can you see me? He said, yeah. I said, are you terrified? He said, not yet. I said, okay. Then I said, okay, you know what? Look at me and look at you. Is there something in common? He said, yes. You have two eyes. I have two eyes. You have one nose. I have one nose. I said, yeah, but I have 2 ears bigger than yours. And then I said, can you make a conclusion here? He said, yes. I said, what is it? He said, the one who made me is the one who made you. I said, write it down now. He said, what shall I write? I said, write man maker. Please. And if you compromise and accept that, I'm going to go back and accept all the nonsense that you said at the beginning. Can you? He said, yeah. Let me write it down. Man maker. I said, let's go up. Who made the computer? He said, electronic engineer. I said, no. Say computer maker. He said, okay, we're compromising here. And I said, like, what did you say about the one who made the table? I said, the carpenter. I said, no. Just write table maker. He said, okay. I said, let's decipher now. What is the concept? Behind everything that's created, there is a creator. And my question to you now, do we have to see the creator of anything to believe that he exists? And he wanted to say yes, but then he stopped because I'm going to catch him. And he said, I said, say it and be honest with yourself because it's 6 minutes. I still have 4 more minutes and we're almost there. So I said, listen, do we have to see the creator to believe that he exists? He said, I think now, no. I said, exactly. This is why I'm going to become a mu'min now in the internet. I used to be a kafir when it comes to the internet. Now I became a mu'min. I believe that there is internet. I said, you know why? Because we communicate through the internet now, but we don't see it. We don't have to see it, but it is there because we are communicating. We see one of its signs. And then I said, okay, let's talk about he said, the computer. I said, yeah. Give me again the name. Who made that? He said, electronic engineer. I said, did you see him? He said, no. I said, but he exists. And the reason we believe in him is because this is his work. So when we see his work, we believe that he exists. Do you have a grandfather? He said, yeah. I said, have you seen him? He said, no. I said, does he exist at some point? He said, now I think yes. I said, yeah. Let's keep going. You know, have you seen the carpenter putting, you know, the table together? He said, no. I said, but you believe that there are carpenters because you see their work. So we don't have to see carpenters to believe that they exist. He said, that makes sense. I said, let's go to the final question. Who made you and who made me? He said, man maker. I said, no. Take it out and give the real name. He said, God. I said, oh my God, you believe in God. You see, you're not an atheist. And he was like, wow, I never knew this. I said, you're ignorant. It's not too late to learn. They say it's never too old to learn, right? So with these people, you have to establish the idea of a creator first. And then once they acknowledge, it's like, you know, why did he create you? People, when they make toys, they have a purpose. They want to sell and make money, right? So Allah answered this question in ayah number 56, surah number 51. Ad-Dariyat. He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So I have not created jinn and mankind but to worship me. And then out of His mercy and fairness, He sent us messengers who were human beings, not son of God or like, you know, semi-God or God. Because it would be unfair because we're going to say we don't have those qualities that we can be equal to Him, right? And He sent us the book. We might say the book was very difficult. We needed somebody to teach us. He sent messengers. Not only to teach, but to practice. Right? So now He's ready to listen. Then you say, worship. And then what's the meaning of worship? Anything you do to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even your intention. Even receiving your brother with a smile on your face is an act of charity. Even removing something that blocks the people's way in the street, you know, is an act of charity. It's worship to Allah. You know, even when somebody is getting married, to become chaste and to raise a Muslim family that's the nucleus of a Muslim ummah, this is an act of worship. We're going to learn this in the course, inshallah. So I hope I answered your question, but then you take it from there and then you explain to them. Once you prove the idea of the creation and the creator, they can challenge you.